Welcome back to our channel. We are the Gallahers. I'm Mark.
And I'm Quiana, and we create Christian and lifestyle content. Today, we're going to be talking about what we've learned in our 2 years of marriage. And before we get into that, I just want to say happy anniversary to you, my love.
Same to you.
We just got back from one of our from our little getaway, and it was so much fun. We had a wonderful time.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Oh yes, yes. Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.
And of course, the goal of this video is to inform and encourage you. Just give you some things to think about if you're in a relationship or if you're looking to get married.
Absolutely. So let's get started. The journey to becoming one. You know how once you get married, you say, I do. They say, okay, you are now one. Yes, you're one in the eyes of the Lord, but becoming one is a lifelong journey. What I had to learn was I can no longer be so comfortable in my way of thinking, right? When you're single, that's all you're used to. You're used to the way that you do things, how you do things, the way that you think about things, the way you process things. But when you become one, you now have to adapt to new ways. You have to learn new patterns, new traits. So for me, that's one of my biggest takeaways within the last 2 years is being okay with evolving. Sometimes change can be challenging for people. I've mentioned that in past videos, how change was challenging for me. And now I'm getting more comfortable with change. In fact, I'm embracing it and I'm enjoying it.
Over the past 2 years, I have truly realized the importance of communication. And everybody tells you before you get married, it's all about communication.
Right.
But I've seen and learned a lot. So you may expect your spouse to do things differently when you're married or expect new ways automatically. But I've realized that people don't change overnight. It takes time. So learning to be patient and really communicate about what you're looking for in your relationship and how to deal with it is so important. You expect your spouse to understand you automatically sometimes or to know where you're coming from, but communication in that area has also been something that I've realized. You may have to constantly explain yourself. You may feel misunderstood many times, but that's simply because you're not the same person. So I've truly realized that, and it helps me feel better and more at ease to know that I can't expect her to know everything I'm thinking all the time, or I can't expect her to even understand where I'm coming from if I don't explain it clearly. So communication truly is key.
When you're married, you have to communicate about everything. There are so many little details. There's so much to discuss. So it requires a lot of back and forth, a lot of, okay, so what are your thoughts about this? Or what are your thoughts about that? Or is that what you meant? And, clarifying. So especially in the beginning, we're giving ourselves grace in this area because we know we're newlyweds. We're still getting to know each other. Even though we have been together for now 9 years, we've only been married for 2. So we're learning still. I would often compare my husband to my father. Let me explain. So in different scenarios, I would expect a certain reaction or a certain action of my husband that I would often get from my father. But I realized, okay, this is my husband. That was my father. They are 2 different people. I'm used to a certain kind of thing because this is what my dad used to do for me. I now have to communicate that to my husband. I cannot expect him to just know. It's important to be mindful of the expectations we put on our spouse.
Right. And
in many areas in marriage, we also have to allow each other the space to be who we are individually.
When you get married, you think you love the person so much. You think you have such a strong bond with this person. But over the past 2 years, we've realized the depth and how deep love can go. And we're only 2 years in. So we're looking forward to see what happens in the future with that. But all that to say, you need to know that your love will actually get stronger. It can get stronger. We hope it gets stronger.
Yes.
Specifically, we mean that when you go through more experiences with your spouse, you better understand them, you learn them to a better degree, you'll have a better appreciation for them.
Yes.
You'll even be more connected, more bonded and that makes your heart for that person so much bigger. So don't think the love stops. Don't think you're at the pinnacle right now, right when you're getting married on your wedding day. It's gonna get even closer. Like I said, at least we pray that it gets closer.
Yes. As you go through things, you will grow through things, which will increase your love for each other. Also, we really hope that you all are enjoying this video. If you're enjoying this content, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps other people see our videos. So please go ahead and do that, as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All right. Don't stop dating. Just because you're married, it doesn't mean that the dating ends. Something we've been incorporating in our marriage from the jump was to continue to have fun and just be intentional in dating, making sure that we're making time for each other, simply to have a good time, simply to have fun, to bond, laugh. Because, you know, when you're married, life can start getting mundane and you get caught up in your routine, and sometimes you just need to add that spark by incorporating dates and intentionality.
We realize, of course, that different things make us happy. So over the past 2 years, myself, speaking for myself, I've learned to make sure that I incorporate things that specifically are bringing her joy. Sometimes there's compromise. You know, we might have to do a date night. I might have to do something that may not be what I prefer to do, but I've learned that if I can bring her joy and do special things, it will really actually help both of us in the long run. One
of the things that I did for him, I planned a date night at home, and I made an invitation for him. I told him what time to be ready, and it was a surprise. I got him some food that I know that he would like. I created the atmosphere in the home, and it's one of our reels actually, so make sure you go check that out.
Yes.
And it was so much fun. Like, we stayed right here at home, but we had such an amazing time, and it was just being intentional.
Intimacy. It is a learned skill. Sometimes when you get married or before you get married, you think that you know what you're doing when it comes to intimate behavior or how to please one another. You think that maybe your frequency or your type of intimacy will be a certain way, but you realize, at least we realized, that you do have to take time to learn it just like any other skill, which is fine. You don't have to be embarrassed and you don't have to feel defeated, because anything that you learn takes time to learn. That being said, we've been encouraged in our 2-year marriage because we've been able to grow further in that area.
Being patient with each other in this area is something that's paramount, especially when you've waited for marriage. There's a lot of pressure around that act. So just be patient with yourself, be patient with each other. Don't put extra pressure on yourself in this area. Have grace for yourself, have grace for each other in that area. You're gonna learn and grow together. Last but not least, don't be ashamed to get help, you guys. Marriage is hard work, relationships are work. And sometimes you need a little assistance, whether it be a close family friend, somebody trustworthy that you can confide in, or a professional. There is no shame in getting assistance in that with your marriage, with your relationships. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and in all the areas that we talked about just in this video that we've realized, yeah, there's many areas to get counsel in. You know, sometimes it's, well, how can I date my spouse more? Or, you know, how can I learn, how can I be better when it comes to intimacy? How can I be a better communicator? And sometimes, as Quiana said, if it's not a professional counselor or not a person, you do have online resources. You have written resources, you have videos that can help you as well. So there's a lot at your disposal. Those were some things that we realized and learned within 2 years of marriage. So please, by all means, leave a comment below with any feedback, maybe some questions that you have for us, questions for the YouTube community, or maybe just some other points that we all can benefit from when it comes to being married, especially in the early years of marriage. We'd appreciate anything you have to say.
And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We would love to have you join us on this journey. Make sure you turn on the notification bell as well so you can be alerted when we put out new videos. Hit the thumbs up button and we will see you soon.
Yes.
Thank you for watching.